exploring the dawn of religious diversity in early America, European colonists and their impact. European colonization in early America significantly impacted religious diversity, bringing an array of faiths to the New World. This blend created a mosaic of religious practices, influencing the cultural and social fabric of the emerging colonies. Economic ambitions, political aspirations, and religious motivations fueled European colonization. Nations sought wealth, territorial expansion, and the spread of their religious beliefs. These factors intertwined, propelling explorers and settlers across the Atlantic. The Spanish arrival marked the beginning of Catholicism's spread in the Americas. Missionaries, driven by a desire to convert indigenous populations, established missions that became centers of religious and cultural exchange. French colonization introduced Catholicism to New France through the efforts of Jesuit missionaries. Their work in converting Native Americans and establishing communities left a lasting Catholic presence in regions like Quebec and the Mississippi Valley. Early English settlements, such as Jamestown, were closely tied to the Anglican Church. Colonists sought to replicate the religious structures of England, establishing churches and practices that reflected their homeland's traditions and beliefs. The Pilgrims, seeking religious freedom, established Plymouth Colony in 1620. Their journey aboard the Mayflower marked the beginning of a quest to practice their faith without persecution, laying the foundation for religious autonomy in the New World. The Puritans, aiming to create a city upon a hill in Massachusetts Bay, emphasized a strict, pious lifestyle. Their vision was to build a society guided by their religious principles, influencing the social and political structures of the colony. William Penn, a Quaker, founded Pennsylvania as a haven for religious tolerance. His leadership fostered an environment where diverse faiths could coexist peacefully, attracting settlers from various religious backgrounds and promoting a culture of acceptance. The Dutch Reformed Church in New Netherland promoted religious tolerance. This policy attracted a mix of faiths to the colony, including Jews, Catholics, and Protestants, setting a precedent for religious diversity and coexistence in the region. Roger Williams established Rhode Island with a commitment to religious freedom. As a Baptist, he championed the separation of church and state, ensuring that individuals could worship as they chose without fear of government interference or persecution. The Catholics in Maryland sought a haven where they could worship freely. The Act of Toleration, enacted in 1649, allowed for religious coexistence, offering protection for Catholics and other Christian denominations, fostering a diverse religious landscape. Early Jewish communities in New Amsterdam established a presence despite facing initial resistance. They contributed to the colony's economic and cultural life, gradually integrating into society while maintaining their distinct religious practices, enriching the region's diversity. Native American spirituality profoundly interacted with European religions. Europeans often misunderstood or dismissed indigenous beliefs, leading to conflict and cultural exchange. This interaction influenced both native practices and the colonists' religious perspectives, creating a complex spiritual tapestry. Religious pluralism in the colonies was marked by both coexistence and conflict. Diverse religious groups shared spaces, sometimes clashing over doctrinal differences, but also learning from one another. This dynamic shaped the colony's evolving religious and cultural identities. Colonial laws and governance were deeply influenced by religious beliefs. Legislations often reflected dominant religious values, shaping societal norms and behaviors. Religious leaders held significant sway in political matters, intertwining faith with the early American legal framework. The Great Awakening swept through the American colonies, igniting fervent religious enthusiasm and revivalist fervor. This movement reshaped colonial society, breaking down denominational barriers and promoting a more personal, emotional connection with faith, influencing countless lives. Religious education gained prominence as early American colleges were established to train clergy and promote theological study. Institutions like Harvard and Yale aimed to preserve religious orthodoxy and ensure an educated ministry for the growing colonies. Women played pivotal roles in colonial religious life, often serving as spiritual leaders within their households and communities. Their influence extended to organizing prayer meetings, teaching the young, and supporting church activities, thus shaping religious practice. Religious dissenters faced persecution, but also championed freedom of conscience. Figures like Roger Williams advocated for religious tolerance and separation of church and state, laying the groundwork for future American principles of religious liberty and individual rights. Religious beliefs deeply influenced social norms and customs in the colonies. From Sabbath observance to moral codes, faith permeated daily life, guiding behavior and shaping community standards, thereby reinforcing the societal fabric and communal identity. Colonial America saw various interfaith interactions marked by both cooperation and competition. Different religious groups often collaborated on communal projects, but also vied for converts and influence, creating a complex web of relationships that shaped colonial society profoundly. Religious festivals and traditions played a significant role in colonial life. These events not only reinforced communal bonds, but also served as opportunities for different faiths to showcase their distinct practices, thus enriching the cultural tapestry of early America. Religion deeply influenced colonial art and literature. Artists and writers often drew inspiration from their faith, producing works that reflected religious themes and values. This creative output helped disseminate religious ideas and fostered a shared cultural heritage. Religion was used to justify both slavery and abolitionism. Some colonists cited biblical texts to defend the institution of slavery, while others drew on religious principles to advocate for the emancipation of enslaved people, highlighting the moral complexities of the time. Religion played a pivotal role in colonial conflicts and alliances. Religious affiliations often dictated allegiances, with colonies aligning based on shared faiths. Conversely, religious differences sometimes fueled conflicts, demonstrating the powerful influence of religion on colonial geopolitics. Religious freedom in early American colonies evolved through a complex interplay of tolerance and repression. Initially, colonies like Maryland and Rhode Island served as sanctuaries for persecuted religious groups, laying the groundwork for broader acceptance of diverse faiths. Religious diversity influenced the American Revolution by uniting disparate groups against a common foe. Religious leaders often framed the struggle for independence as a divine mission, providing moral justification and rallying support across colonial society. The foundation of the United States enshrined religious liberty in the First Amendment, a visionary step ensuring freedom of conscience. This principle enabled a pluralistic society where diverse faiths could coexist without fear of government interference. Colonial religious diversity profoundly shaped modern American society, embedding values of tolerance and freedom. The varied religious landscape fostered a culture of dialogue and mutual respect, crucial for the nation's social and political fabric. Reflecting on early American history reveals the enduring legacy of religious diversity. The struggles and triumphs of different faith communities established a foundation for the inclusive, multicultural society that the United States aspires to be today.